The day we've all been waiting for, installing the JZ and the G35. I'm really excited. If you saw Alberto's video, we finished the cam sensor install. As some of you may know, this is a GE non-VVTi, which the head doesn't come with a cam sensor. It comes with a distributor right here. So what we did was we plugged it with a 30mm plug, and then my friend at GW Engineering created this cam sensor bracket. It goes in there, and Alberto welded it from the inside, and now I have a cam sensor. I know where the cam timing is because I'm running GTE cams. Remember, this is a full GTE swap, so it's GTE pistons, rods, crank, everything else with a GE block and head. But now the wiring will be the same as a GTE because I have the same crank sensor and then the same cam sensor, so I can figure out the timing that way. In Alberto's video, we also installed the timing belt tensioner, which is in here. I bought a billet Ross timing belt tensioner. It is worth every penny in case you do two-step or backfires, you know, the cool tunes, the fire tunes. You're gonna it's gonna bounce around the timing, and you need a billet one because the stock ones apparently are cast and they break. Looks like this, and this is the cast one. It can be brittle, it's kind of skinny, and so they break. Next, we also installed the ATI damper, super dampener. That way the stock one is rubber and it loves to tear, and then it's really annoying to get them off and on inside the car specifically. And because this is a swap, the motor is going to sit further forward than most. That would be a pain. So eliminate the issue, buy this, and I won't have to touch it. Same with the billet tensioner. I won't have to open the front at all unless I need to service seals or something else. Another awesome add-on to my JZ, my drift motion AC compressor finally arrived. I already installed it. I'm super happy about it. I have AC. I'm so excited. And if you know anything about the G's or the Z's, the AC compressor on them is on the same side and the same location. So my lines already go all the way to here. All I have to do is get the JZ lines that come off of here and weld them to my lines. And that's it. I have AC. I also purchased this dash 10 fitting for the return of the power steering. This is coming off, and then a fitting goes in there from drift motion, which makes the pressure line all the way to the rack. This is it right here. I don't remember which side. One of those is going in there and the other one goes to the rack. That solves our power steering. This just goes to a reservoir that I also have already purchased. And so I have already power steering solved, I have AC solved, and the last thing I have that I've already solved, which is not on here, is my throttle body intake setup. The G35 and the 350Zs are electric throttle, which means the throttle is like by wire, drive by wire. So after a lot of consideration, I am going to be running the VQ throttle body. It is 70mm big, so that is plenty for my power goals of 600. And because it is drive by wire and it's the one that came with the car, my friend is making a plate to bolt it to my intake manifold, and that will solve my throttle. That way it's electric, the pedal's electric, the ECU will just control it. I have throttle. The clutch obviously is the same transmission with slave, so that is solved. And the starter is already also solved because it's the same transmission. Basically everything is solved. This motor is meant to be in a 350Z or a G35. You can't prove me wrong. The next step is opening this sweet box again, which I already showed you guys the contents in an earlier video, but I will remind you. Here's all the stuff we're gonna need to put on there so we can mate that transmission to it. I am cleaning it right now with Power Purple. We are going to be installing the billet tranny mount and these motor mounts right here, and we'll be putting it in the car today, hopefully. My man Alex here is gonna be cameraman for this video, for these shots.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Install the flywheel. Got the Collins flywheel with the hardware. Oop, almost forgot. Nope. Almost forgot. We gotta do the pilot boosting.
Alright, we'll be back.
So after that, put the flywheel on. Make sure you do this by hand. These kind of really long bolts. You don't want to class thread them. Forget to torque the flywheel to spec. The JC flywheel specs is 36 foot-pounds and 90 degrees. ARP is 56, I believe. So we're gonna run 56 foot-pounds to torque these bolts down. Next we're going to install our clutch. I believe it is the same as a 350Z clutch, but don't quote me on that. I'm going to have to ask Brett at Collins. But it is a 6-puck single disc clutch that I got. It can take, I think, 500 something foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty good for what I'm doing. If I do end up upping the boost, then I'm going to have to change the clutch. But this was affordable. It comes with the kit. It's great. I think it's the stage 3. It also comes with the hardware and the guide tool, which is very important. That in place. Please don't fall. It is specific, by the way. If it doesn't go in, then you got it the wrong way. Keep turning. Ah! It's like that with most clutches. See, it's this way. Got it. Perfect. I tightened the pressure plate to about 20 foot-pounds. For this time, I'm probably gonna do like 25. Finally got the no-cut adapter plate from Collins Adapters. I got it in there. We didn't record it because Alex was helping me hold it up, but there is a dowel pin right here on the motor, and so you gotta go right there, and there's one right here. The plate is black, so it's being hard to focus on the camera, but basically we just hammered it a little bit very lightly with a mallet right there and right here, and it went in, and it is now perfectly flush. Now we just have to bolt it together to the block, and then we can make the trans. So as the beer come out, you know we're getting ready to party. And Collins is amazing, gives you instructions right here. I gotta open this paper, and the hardware, and it's gonna tell me which hardware goes where. So just make sure to follow the instructions, please. I know reading is hard and we're men and we don't like to read, but you have to. Look, that essay, understand it. There's some Allen bolts provided that you basically mate where the old transmission would bolt to the JZ all around, and then he also gives you a throwout bearing with the housing, which it's good to replace because those usually go bad. Alright, next is going to be the billet transmission mount. He also leaves instructions and hardware, so follow those too. It's like when a kid in Christmas gets a gift, they're too excited, so they just rip it open. They don't even know what time it is or know what's happening. No one told them it's okay. Well, that just happened to us. We forgot to record, but we got most of the motor in. We're gonna keep going. We had to get the stock mounts, just bolted them underneath from the subframe, and then they're sitting there. We're gonna put the motor in on the stock mounts, and then we're gonna jack up the transmission to bolt that up. So this is what it looks like in here. Got the stock mount right there, the Collins adapter engine mount right there. It's just gonna go right down there. Bolted it to the subframe. It's still loose though. Same on this side. Got the mount right there and the engine mount right down there. Alright guys, the motor's in. I'm so excited. I want to show you guys the fitment because I know a lot of you are probably not worried, but excited to see how that fits. That's the motor mount in on this side. That is the motor mount in on this side. VVTi and non-VVTi are going to have a different location on where you bolt it to the block. So make sure you note that when you read the instruction manuals from Collins. Look at the clearance on this oil pan to subframe. It's literally meant to be in here. They did a little notch, and that notch is for the JZ pan. Look at that. An LS wouldn't fit in here. Go get a JZ, guys. It is actually pretty good because look at how far that motor is from that strut tower. That's a lot. We got plenty of room up front, more than I expected with this long motor. Now I'm showing you underneath because this is where the stuff matters. clearance. See that? Clearance. It doesn't even, it's like a hair. See the hair? See the hair? It's amazing. This is great precision by Collins. You don't have to bang your firewall at all. It's just a hair everywhere. That bolt right there is a hair. Everything is perfect. Up there, the head is like a hose away from being on the firewall. It's perfect. I couldn't be happier with this. Best setup ever. Plenty of room for downpipe. This side doesn't even utilize anything. The starter, so plenty of room to install the starter, and the steering shaft is really far away. We got the slave goes there, that's easy, and then the big banger, the billet transmission mount from Collins. Looks beautiful. We have it set about in the middle. There we go. The light's kind of glaring. I'm pretty excited about this, if you guys can't tell from my voice. Again, more precision from Collins. You can see hair splitting differences all the way around. I kept the weight on there because I wanted to remove vibrations. This is still a street car. I can't even express from here. This is a hairline from hitting anything, and it's all bolted down, and it's perfect, just completely perfect. I have to remove that there, and the shifter goes perfectly center to the old shifter hole. With the Collins shifter, you could just bolt it right up, and you're done there. Okay, I'm glad Angel brought this up. You see the drive shaft, right? It's kind of too long now. It's definitely not gonna go because we moved everything back. But that's okay, Angel, because the G35 sedan is a great car, and it is the best car. It is better than a 350. Yes, I said that. It is a steel 3-piece drive shaft. So because this is steel, it only costs like $80 to cut, re-weld, and rebalance. Now the 350Z is carbon fiber, which means you cannot adjust. You have to go get a whole new drive shaft. Like so, like that one. But we don't need that. $80 and we're done. We got power to the wheels. Let's have a look from the top. Angel, can you lower the lift for us, please? Do us the honors. All right, where's that light? This is great. Look at this, guys. Look at how much room we have for activities. This engine was meant to go in here. I don't understand why Nissan didn't do this. This is the clearance to the front. Plenty of room. I'll measure that. Looks like about ½ a foot. So 6 inches. That's a lot. Anyways, we have our engine mount slotted all the way to the back. That's how I want my engine, as close to the firewall as possible. And of course, there you go, as close to the firewall as possible. And well, guys, the G has a 2J in it. Can't lie, you see it here first. My S13 is probably mad at me right now. Being the little kids that we are, we got excited. We started bolting up stuff. We got the intake on. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Millimeters. Probably like 4 or 5 millimeters from there. And back here, again, it clears though. It's fine, but that's great. We're super tight on that side. And then also super tight on this side. Very, very tight. I don't know if you guys remember, but that's not the turbo I'm running, and that is not the manifold I'm running. Johan is making a manifold. He has my turbo. My turbo's bigger than that, so hopefully he's gonna have some work to do to get it to fit in here nice, because that's hard. But at least I can tell him that this manifold fits, so it's pretty relevant. It's around there. And if you guys were interested in buying one of these eBay manifolds, I can tell you that it fits in a Z or a G just fine. And if you have a T4 turbo of that size, I don't know what size that is, it works. Everything's perfect in there. I don't know how you're gonna have to, you might have to elbow that down, figure that out. Look inside that intake. Woo, all the suckies. Today, a special thanks to my friend Angel. As always, he's there helping me. I'm helping him. We're putting that motor that's underneath the pizza. It is now a pizza holder, but soon it's gonna go in his truck that's outside. We already pulled the old motor out, if you saw, and we're gonna be doing that. But I'm so glad he came and helped me with this, because by myself this would have sucked. With 2 people is perfect. You know, I can tell him, hey, go up on the jack, and then I, you know, move the transmount so I could get it in the right location. So it was a lot. Everything is so tight, you definitely need 2 people to maneuver it. So if you want the motor as far back as me, which I'm sure everyone does, then yeah, just so you know, it's gonna take a while. We've been here for like 5 hours doing this, but it's pretty exciting. Stay tuned on the channel, please. Don't forget, we have shirts, this one, the other one. Help the channel. I'm gonna put on the description Collins' Instagram and obviously their website and the kit that I used. Go check it out, purchase it. Go on their Instagram, tell them Drift Happy sent you. Thank you guys for liking, watching, subscribing. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.